I think the answer is yes, but are tread depth and run the same thing?
Tread depth is the actual depth of the stair tread from nosing to nosing.
Yep.
The run of the stairs is the full length the stairs run in a horizontal direction that would equal the length of the stairs by adding up all the treads times the tread depth. So if you have a
Okay.
10-inch tread and you've got 12 treads, then it would be exactly a 10-foot run of stairs.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay?
Thank you.
I just started recording because you asked a school question, so you got the recording started for us. Here, let me turn on my camera so that you guys can see me. Hi.
Hi.
I look the same. Hi, Seamus. Maybe is his mic not working? Oh. All right, we'll see if anybody else is going to be joining us today. I had a noon meeting for college council that was a Zoom meeting that was just before this one that I had to bow out of. So I'm sure that those are the kinds of things that might be happening where people are trying to be in two places at once. All right, well, I guess while we're waiting for the other folks to join in, I'll ask the three of you, did you have a chance, oh, Sarah, it sounds like you watched the stair videos.
Yeah, I did yesterday.
Yep. And did it make sense to you, or was there anything that seemed out of, that I didn't cover or that you feel like you missed?
No, everything seemed good. I just had
Okay.
that one question that I had already asked, so.
Yep. Elena, did you get a chance to see it too? Yep.
No, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Okay. All right. Well, if those kinds of questions come up, I might be bringing up some stuff that you'll recognize from the videos. And I still will obviously field questions of anything that we've covered too before. So any wall questions or full floor framing as well. Yeah, and Seamus, don't worry about it. Just try to get caught up with the lecture materials as soon as you can, because they definitely will help you with getting through the worksheet stuff that I have in the lesson plan, and it will help you work towards getting your drawings done for the final project. How is the progress going with the foundation plan and framing added to it? Where is everybody with that? I think Sarah, I saw yours and you were just about done. I think I gave you some feedback.
Yeah, I had, in the email
Yep.
I sent you. I haven't got a chance to add those to it. I've been working crazy, so.
Yeah, no, I know everybody's, you know, everybody's time is split in all different directions, and that's why the due dates aren't until the end of the semester, so you can try to figure out how to, you know, triage your workload. Elena, I'm not sure I think that I've seen from yours up to the foundation and section, but I'm not sure if I saw anything from you yet on the framing added to it. Just wanted to make sure you knew what you were doing with that drawing to complete it.
Yeah, I know what I have to do. I haven't had a lot of time to add to it, but I'll definitely be referring back to the video that you have up there. And if I have any questions on it between our Zoom meetings, could I email you about anything?
Yeah, that's exactly what Sarah did. Is she took a picture of her progress and sent it to me, and then I'm able to edit it in a piece of software I have that I just redlined right there and then sent it back to show her what else she needed to add to her drawings. So that's a great way to do it. So I love that too, because then I can kind of tell where people are and whether or not they're, you know, getting what they need. Yeah. Okay, so Seamus, you got my, I think you were the one that asked me for a copy of the foundation in the DWG file. And so you're adding that section, I'm assuming, and going to add the framing directly to that once you get the section parts done? Okay, perfect. All right. Everybody else you see, I know it sounds like I'm talking to myself, but if you have your chat open, you can see that Seamus is chiming in that way. Okay. Anything that I can help you with today, or you also can share your screens today if you've got something that you want to show me. I can give you the power to do that. Okay. All right. Well, while we're here and while I have you, I wanted to make sure that I gave you some additional information about stairs in particular. And so since there's just the three of you, I'd like to survey you to find out what do you have a house that has stairs, and how old is your house that has stairs? Elena, you want to go first?
Yeah, so I'm not sure like the year or anything, but I know at my mom's house, it's a really old house and the
Mm-hmm.
stairs are awful. And then my dad lives in a newer house where like they helped in designing a lot of it, and the
Mm-hmm.
stairs are a lot wider and easier to go down. But I've just noticed in older houses, I feel like it's like really narrow stairs and they're really short. I think you called it like the tread
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, the rise to run ratio is closer to that 45-degree angle, which is really steep for a set of stairs. So I had said in my video that my grandmother had a cape in Biddeford that she built in 1950, and the stairs were a 9-inch tread to a 9-inch rise, which is a 45-degree angle stair. What was great is the stairs fit in a small, she had a small house, so they fit nicely as a straight set of stairs right down the middle of the cape, which is very traditional, but they were very steep. We used to play slide down the stairs with slippery jammies in the Christmas time, you know, when we were there and stuff. And boy, you got some speed up. But nowadays, nobody in that lives in a house that has a set of stairs has to go and remodel their stairs because their stairs no longer meet egress requirements. But a good thing for you to know as designers is if someone is remodeling their house and this might be a little bit different for every city or town or state, but if they do more than a certain dollar amount of renovation, and that could be like anywhere between $100,000 to $150,000 worth of renovation, they may be obligated to actually update those stairs, especially if they are remodeling in and around those stairs as well, or adding any access to additional spaces up on that second floor, and those are the only stairs to get there. So it's a good thing to know that you know, for residential applications anyway, those stairs, they're going to exist all over the place that don't meet code anymore because of our inventory of old houses in the Maine and New England area. Okay. So Sarah, what kind of house do you have? A house with stairs?
I just live in an apartment building right now. And our apartment's just one floor, but the building itself is but my parents' house where I grew up, probably built in the 80s. It's not like
Yep.
a very old house. But yeah, like 2 stories, basement, full basement.
Yep. So the 80s, I believe we were still allowed to do an 8-inch riser in residential. So that they took an extra 1/4 of an inch away somewhere in maybe the mid to late 80s or something like that. I can't remember when these codes change, but so you might see something a little bit taller than a 7 3/4 inch rise in that house. So at the apartment building, did you say you have multiple stories at that apartment building though?
The building itself, yeah.
Yeah. So
Um,
can you tell me about what the common stair and entryway looks like?
um, well, it's an elevator is mostly what everyone uses, and then on either side, when you walk in, there's a stairwell on each side of the building.
All right, so there's an example. When you have a multi-unit family unit, especially if it's 3 families can live in there or more, there are higher restrictions for egress stairs that need to meet code requirements for safety. So those common areas, if you wanted to, so for instance, if you wanted to take an apartment building that was built maybe in the early 1900s and convert it, you would most likely have to redo those stairs, or you would have to provide exterior escape routes that met those code requirements and met those egress requirements. Just to let you know, how do this code affect you all as designers? What should you be aware of? When should you be concerned about what these stairs look like? And then, so converting an apartment building is one of those places where the codes enforcement officers will be very strict about how those stairs get designed. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yep.
Yeah, because you've got multiple users. All right, let me see here. Seamus has a question. Yours was made in the 70s, is a raised ranch. Yep. That's funny, Seamus. So he said the rise and run is a bit messed up because he falls all the time. Well, that's the reason why these restrictions are here. So the differences in tread height that you have of that 3/8 of an inch, anything more than that is a tripping hazard. And I'll use an example. Like, have you ever, been to somebody else's house and you're using their stairs, and you go up the stairs and then the last step is really much shorter, so you kind of like slam your foot down on the last step because you're thinking it's taller than it is, right? Or you trip on the first step or you trip on one of the steps somewhere in between because it just is one of the ones that doesn't seem to be the same height as everything else. And that's the reason for that restriction, to not have anything more than 3/8 of an inch difference. You're less likely to have those accidents on the stairs, which can cause some severe injury or death. And so that's why those safety rules are in there. Does anybody have any questions about, I made mention to loft spaces and how it's okay to design ladder or a much steeper stair to a loft space.
So is there not like any code for those types of like stairs or ladders or?
Well, there's not a code per se, but there is a code as to whether or not you can call a space a loft space. So a loft, by definition, has to be lofted above an existing floor area. So like this room right here that I'm in has a really high ceiling in the back. If I wanted to put a loft and put a bed up there, then I can make a ladder to that bed. But that loft space can end up being a lot bigger sized with a ladder that goes up to it, but you cannot have anything else up there besides a sleeping space. So as soon as you put a bathroom up there, or as soon as you put something else up there, then it can no longer be called a loft. You can call it an upper level or something like that. And then you do need to provide stairs that meet egress requirements, and those egress requirements are what I talked about, and those are the ones that I'm having you design so you know how to do those particular type of stairs. Okay. All right. So those are the things that I just wanted to touch base on, is that you can have, like, for instance, also I have a set of stairs that go into my basement that don't meet code requirements, but my basement's unfinished and the only thing I have down there is my laundry. If I ever wanted to, though, like renovate and rebuild those stairs from a different direction or something on my floor, I probably would have to build them to egress requirements. But I live in a 1920s home, so the ones that I have now I don't have to rebuild unless I do any kind of remodeling or changing of those stairs. Okay. All right, any other topics that you want to discuss today? The worksheet for the wall framing, are the answers based on the Josephine house? Yes, Seamus. So the answers are based on the Josephine house for your wall section. So one of the pieces that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to come up with what you would like to use for windows and doors on the exterior walls. And I want you to concentrate on just the portion of the Josephine house that's in the living area. So don't worry about the mudroom and don't worry about the garage. Find your widest opening that you plan on using for your windows on that portion of the house, and then find your tallest opening, and then you can work out what size header needs to be put in there, and that will give you your minimum wall height. You can set the wall height higher than that, you just know then you can't set the wall height any lower than that value you come up with. And typical numbers, by the way, folks, that I wanted to cover with you for walls, if you're using the nominal of wall framing and the typical door sizes, your numbers that you're going to get are going to be the same every time if you are stacking. Let's take for instance the 6'8" door. The 6'8" door is a rough opening of 6 feet 10.5 inches, and you use two 2x4s for a header, and you use two the 3-inch top plate. Your wall height, if you were to work that out on paper, 6 foot 10.5 plus 3.5 plus 3 inches equals 7 feet 5 inches. Did you guys work that out too the same way on paper? So that's one example. If I decide to swap out those 2x6s with 2x4s with 2x6s, then I'm adding 6 feet 10.5 plus 5.5 plus 3, and my wall height now is 7 feet 7. The next size would be 2x8s, which would be 7 1/4, and now my my wall height would be 7 feet 8 3/4. Next one would be 7 feet 10 3/4, and the last one I'd be able to have would be 8 feet 3/4 inches. So those numbers don't change, do they? For each one, if all I have to do is keep swapping out that header size, and I get that same. I'm going to get those same numbers every time. If I change my door height to 7 feet, then I get a new set of numbers every time I change out that header. So I've told my class before, it's a great idea to have just like a chart basically that has, okay, if I've got 6 feet 10.5 inches, or you maybe can set it up in a spreadsheet. If I got 6 foot 10.5 inch rough opening for a door, and I've got a 2x10 header plus 3 inches, what does that work out to be? And you can go right across and have those standard numbers or values would be right there in that spreadsheet. So you've got a chance to, you know, put that stuff somewhere in reference and then know that you've got those numbers already worked out. Does that make sense to everyone? Because you usually only have those 2 exterior door sizes, and then you have only those, let me see, 2x4, 2x6, 2x8, 2x10, and 2x12, 5 different header sizes, right?
Yep, that makes sense.
Yep, okay. So you'll start to recognize those numbers and recognize when somebody's using those numbers because they add up to those stacked components. Okay. Any more questions you have about actual window and door sizes that we can talk about? Anybody using any kind of like unusual windows and doors that?
I haven't really thought about it too
Okay.
much, but like what about like for instance, like a front door and like a bedroom door? Like, do those differ in like size much?
They do. So usually an interior door, first of all, does not necessarily, it doesn't affect the height of your walls because it's usually shorter. So interior doors, typical height for an interior door is 6 feet 6 inches instead of 6 feet 8. But a lot of people will do the 6 feet 8 anyway. Like I've got 6 foot 8 inch doors in my house with a usually most of my door widths are 30 inches to 28 inches wide. So 30 inches is a comfortable door size for an interior door. You usually don't see 36 inches for an interior door unless someone is trying to make sure that that opening is ADA compliant, so somebody with a wheelchair can go through it. So if you wanted to create an ADA compliant bathroom, for instance, you'd want to make sure that you design the door for that bathroom to be 36 inches wide, so that when the door is open, you actually have 32 inches of clear space to pass through with a walker or a wheelchair or something, okay? So those are the numbers that you usually want to work with. I wouldn't go with anything less than a 2-foot wide door for a pass-through door. I certainly would go lower than that for a closet door or a linen closet, but if you're walking through that door to go into another space, don't go less than 2 feet, and 2 feet is really, really narrow. I think my shoulders are more than 2 feet wide, so I'd have to kind of, you know, turn to go into that space, or you'd knock your shoulders a lot on your way in, and it would be pretty hard to get some larger furniture into those spaces. So to reiterate, 30-inch wide by 6'6" is pretty common. 6'8" is also common, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Some good websites to go to also, and I'll go ahead and share my screen to show you what you can do. Can everybody see that?
Yep.
Okay. So is it Gel Weld is a door manufacturer. Gel Weld, or no, Gelled Wen, that's it, is a door manufacturer, and it's a good website to go check out and see what they have for both exterior and interior doors. So if you go into the doors, you've got interior doors that you can explore, exterior doors, and all kinds of different styles. Somewhere in here, you'll probably find a good image on, you know, how's a door installed and all that stuff, and you know, what's the rough opening need to be in the jam types. We are going to be getting into windows and doors a little bit more in depth when we get to the windows and doors lecture. But for now, I just want you to, you know, kind of go shopping and see what there is out there and pick something out. Most importantly, I just need you to get those dimensions. So you can find a dimension for a door, but then decide a different door type to use. So I could say, I know I want a door here that's going to be 30 inches wide by 6'8". I haven't decided yet, though, if I want it to be a pivot door, or meaning a hinged door, or if I want it to be a pocket door, or if I want it to be, you know, a bypass door or something like that. So those parts of it can be done after the fact. Now that pocket door and bypass door would only be done as interior doors. So exterior doors, you would never have a pocket door because it could not be weather sealed. Unless, I mean, there might be something funky out there that's like industrial type door that would cost a lot of money, but for the most part, you're going to see sliders, like glass sliders or pivot doors, being used as exterior doors. Okay. So feel free to go and do that kind of exploration and see, you know, what do I have for options for those types of interior doors. And this will also give you a general idea of door sizes and how they get called out. Bifold doors and are a door type that gets used a lot in closets. And the bypass doors get used a lot in closets as well. And this is just showing you different panel configurations that you have too. Okay. Another good website to go through for windows is Anderson or Marvin or Pella. And those are great websites to just look at and see what's there. All right, anything else I can cover? Perfect. Seamus says, thank you. All right, Sarah, Elena, got anything else for me?
No, can I ask a question about the Josephine project?
Sure.
Um, so for what I sent you for the email for the foundation plan, I don't have to put anything like stairs related in that, do I?
Oh, I forgot to answer that question for you. That's right.
Yeah, it's okay.
Here's what you could do in your plan, Sarah, is just in that area where, and you can use my dimensions that I think I show in some of my videos or whatever, but I think
Okay.
I've given like about 4 feet 6 inches in both directions for the width of the stairs that show where the walls and framing would go. And that extra width is because the foundation wall sticks out further than the the first floor wall. So you have to design the stairs so they actually are 3 feet wide from where the face of the foundation wall is, not from where the face of the first floor wall is, because those stairs are mostly going downstairs, so they have to be 3 feet away from the foundation wall. So you can just draw a little L-shaped shape, and there's right inside of that area, just write stairs.
Okay.
If you want to sketch in the treads, that's fine. But I can't remember. Did you decide to use regular nominal joist, right?
Yeah, I did.
So,
I thought it would just be easier for
yep,
now until I grasp everything.
right. So your the stairs I built into the Josephine project that you guys all have a copy of, either in PDF or CAD or whatever format. I included the stairs in them so that you guys could see, what they would look like. If we had more time this semester and I knew everybody had a lot more time to draw, I would definitely have you design the set of stairs for your particular floor framing solution you came up with. Because if your floor framing plate thickness is thicker than mine or shorter than mine, then your rise to run ratio or your riser count's going to be different maybe. And
Okay.
definitely your riser height would be different, right?
Yep.
So what I have for stairs are approximately what everybody would get, unless somebody decides to use those huge I-joists that are 14 or 16 inches deep, then that would completely throw off those stairs that I put into the plans. But that's a little bit more than what I'm expecting for this semester, okay?
Okay, so just draw the basic L shape and add the lally column in.
Exactly, yep.
Okay.
And then in the class portal, I'd like you to tell me what you work out for riser count and a total rise for your particular floor plate design. So you're going to give me your total rise that you come up with from the slab where it is up to your first floor, based on the dimensions that were provided originally for the Josephine. And then tell me what you think you would get for a riser height, a riser count, and a tread or a total stair run length. Does that make sense?
Yeah, is that the homework?
Yeah,
On
that's
the
one of the
portal?
homeworks
Okay.
on the portal. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, Seamus, I got your message. You think you're good, just need to catch up. Yeah, try to maybe schedule yourself some time, over the course of the week to make sure you're kind of eating at these things, because it's really easy to let everything be done for the last week if you're a procrastinator like me, but you're going to have a lot of work to do on the last week if you do that. So, and sometimes things don't take as long as you think. I know both, Elena, you haven't started your framing yet for that foundation. The framing notes really don't take a lot of time, and it's just adding those call outs and putting in those just a couple of those symbols that show where your framing is going in the section, and then the call outs in the plan. If it's taking you hours and hours to do that, it's more drawing than I was expecting you to do. Okay.
All right, that sounds good. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely right after this Zoom thing, I'm gonna start getting to work on that,
Okay.
on the floor framing too.
Okay. All right. So well, the next week is going to be a roof lecture. Roof actually and thermal and moisture protection I'm going to talk to you guys about. And so that's what's coming down the pike for next class.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Well, if that's all the questions you guys have today, yeah, I second what Seamus just said. Have a great day. Stay dry inside. It's not a bad day to be inside today. I was saying to Elena, because yesterday was so nice. I hope everybody got a chance to get out yesterday. Today is looking pretty dreary. So I don't mind being inside today.
At least it's not snowing down
Exactly. Well, Elena's worried about her snowing in her area because she's up in Augusta. So.
here. Oh yeah.
Yikes.
No, I'm right in Portland, so
Yeah,
it's
me too.
just rain.
South Portland. I'm just, so I'm looking out my window and it's definitely wet, but it's no snow yet. And I hope not, because I put my shovels
No.
away.
Yeah, I did too.
All right. So I'll
All right.
see you all Tuesday. I'll probably post the lectures on the roof stuff for Monday like I've been doing, and so you'll see me then, okay?
Okay, sounds
All
good.
right.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks for chiming in today. Bye, guys.
Bye.